Vroom, 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 vroom. Honk, honk. Get in, losers. We're going struggling. Vroom, 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 vroom. Hey, friends. Welcome to another Ed and Struggle Bus, where every wheel is meant a triangle. Before we jump into this video, I have a question for you guys. Is our background getting too old and stale? Should I mix it up, have a different city, maybe make it like a nighttime scene or something like that, or just a different scene altogether? Let me know what your thoughts are, because we've been rocking this one for a while now. I have a bunch of other backgrounds kind of saved if I wanted to mix it up, but it is a level of effort for me to do that, and if it's not something you guys are interested in, then maybe it's not worth the effort. But if you guys are like, hey, Gabe, we've been staring at this same cityscape for 2 years now, can you please just use something else? Let me know, and I'll put it in there. And maybe I'll just do it anyway, and maybe we'll just change it up from week to week, and you guys can be like, this is the one. This is the one we really like. But the intro is going to stay the same. I'm not redoing the intro because that one was a lot of work, and plus it's really funny. Anyway, so with that out of the way, we can talk about today's bus ride. It's a fun one. We're playing against an 11K on OGS, and there are two good lessons in particular in this one. We go over some interesting things. Primarily cutting and staying connected. There's two really good examples of staying connected and assessing our cuts, because that's one of our beyond the basic rules, is to always be assessing your cuts. There's a cut in this game that we leave because it's okay. We can handle the cut for a while, but it gets to a point where we can't handle that cut. But it's a little subtle. It's subtle how it shifts in the game. So it's important to go over that, and we do go over it in the game. So, as per always, I'd like to thank our opponent for playing us today. I'd like to thank you guys for watching these videos, and I'd like to thank my Patreon subscribers for supporting the channel. So anyway, let's get into the game, guys. Okay, so here we go. We are playing against an 11K on OGS. They're getting pretty close to that single-digit Q barrier. So hopefully we can give them a fun game, and they can give us a fun game. But, I mean, we're playing Go, so all the games are going to be fun, right? Anyway, as per always, we are going to be focusing on the basics. So we care about those corners. We care about those sides, and then finally we care about the centers. We like third and fourth line stones. We like balancing our stones between the third and fourth line. We don't want to attach to weak stones. We want to respond to attachments. We want to protect our cuts. You guys hopefully are familiar with all of these things by now. So our friend approaches, we back off, and then he backs off high here. I'm going to go kick. I like doing this because it overconcentrates black a little bit, though really not much, just a little. Because typically if we were to kick here and then back off, black would have typically played at K4 instead of J4, but really not that big of a deal. So let's go approach a corner. We're all set here, so either we're going to approach this corner, or we're going to approach this corner, or we're going to extend off of ours. I'm going to approach this corner, and the reason I'm going to approach this corner is I'm still out on the quest to go over invasions. And so if we go here, we're kind of going to have like potentially a framework versus framework, Moyo versus Moyo type game. And so then we can go over invasions a little better. Okay, when black responds here, we typically attach. And I realize with a lot of this, this is something that, I experienced when I'm watching stronger players, or, when I was newer to things, is it's frustrating, because like I know the variations, so I can just say, oh, when black does this, we do this. Isn't that so simple? But it took a lot of work to get there. So I understand the struggle of not necessarily knowing that when black plays here, that attaching at R17 is the move. And so I understand that. So black approaches here. We can kick. We can go play one of these. I'm actually going to play this move because we have this nice third line stone here. So this looks to build something nice here. Typically, black would want to respond, or attach rather, And a big part of that is it forces us to respond. I don't think we need to respond to this move, but what I am going to do is go and play a move like this to make this a little stronger, make this potential a little bigger, and it still puts pressure on this group. We could have just Tanuki'd if we wanted. We could have attached at B18. That's a possibility. We could have attached at D15. There's lots of possibilities here. Truth be told, I am not too familiar with the B7 slide here. If there are variations, if there are Josekis that are based off of this, I do not know. I do not know them. I don't know all the Josekis, guys. Okay, so black immediately jumps in, which sure, that's fine. The question is, do we need to respond to this move? Unsure. This group is kind of strong. These three stones are kind of strong. So in a situation like this, if we don't know how to respond to a stone like this and our group's already strong, we can just Tanuki. So Tanukiing is an option here. I'm not going to Tanuki though. What I'm going to do is I'm going to build strength on this side first, because even though there are more stones over here, there's a little more room for black to harass us, and these three stones are pretty strong. So I want to play on the side that I'm saying is a little bit weaker, which is this side, playing away from our strength. And as black runs out, now we can start looking at moves like C13 or D13 to look to surround this group. So as black runs out, black's getting stronger. As black gets stronger, we're getting weaker, so we want to do something about it. We can go make a base, which I'm considering doing, honestly. Or we could look to surround this group. But you want to know what? Let's just make a base here. I feel like this would probably be a more natural feeling move to you guys, and I think it's a fine move in its own right. I like that black played here. I do like this. Gives black a nice base here. But here I am absolutely going to extend. We can kind of treat this as if we had H17 and then black shoulder hit us. And if black shoulder hits us here, we would look to extend. So that's all we're going to do, just to link our groups up, and black plays away. I like how black is playing this game. I do. But we've got a little bit of a target here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go pressure these two stones a little bit. And, we're going to treat this as an attack. If we're attacking these two stones, we have to be going for profit. Where's our profit going to be? It's going to be getting strength here, so that we can invade the side or the bottom. So we will just jump out here a little quickly to go and do that. Okay, so black extends. I think keeping our stones connected is probably important. So let's go and do that. We can look to push, but actually I think a move like L18 is probably actually a better shape to stay connected. So that's what we're going to do. And as we do that, I have to share that we're being harassed by a little kitten. He's not really, he's still a kitten, but he's not as small as he once was, because that's what happens. Cats grow. But then they also just like crawl all over us and stuff. And the cats. Okay, black looks to break through, and we will connect here. I'm going to go over this move in the review if I remember it, going over some shape stuffs, because that was a fun little move. Okay, so we're fully connected. We're as strong as it gets, and we need to reduce what's going on over here. We've got a couple options here. We could look at something like L3. We could look at something like R12. We can look at something like P5 or Q4. And I think I'm actually going to go play Q4 to show this attachment. When we're looking to invade or reduce, oftentimes attaching to a strong stone is a good place to start. It forces your opponent to respond, and then we can use those forcing moves to get strength ourselves. And it's okay if we give up a stone, right? We can let Q4 go if that's what needs to happen. But in this case, it looks like we're going to be fine. So backing up a little bit, when when we play this Hane, we're doing it because we just want to make complications for our opponent. Because again, it's okay if we sacrifice stones. But so now black Ataris, we will connect because that threatens to kill this stone with R3. So if black plays on top, we can play R3, it'll kill the Q3 stone, and then all of a sudden, look at that, we're alive. And if black wants to play something like R3 or Q2, then we can go make a base on the left side. There was a lot of room here, so we had a lot of room to navigate with this. So, okay, so black plays that. A little interesting. I will go take the Atari. This is a pretty big stone to capture. Now my question for you guys is, I just played this. Are we going to play here to protect, to save this stone? Hopefully you guys know the answer to that is no. We are not going to save that stone. It is too small to save. But it was worth taking this exchange just to get the exchange and to leave some Aji here. So we're going to extend. So the question is, do we want to extend here or do we want to extend here? Honestly, I'm unsure. I'm unsure which is better, but I am going to play the third line because typically when we're approaching fourth line stones, we want to play in the third line. It threatens to undercut a little more firmly. Playing a move like H2 will be really annoying now. So I like that. Our opponent attaches to our stones. We've got that rule. We respond to attachments, and we are going to respond to this attachment. And when you respond to attachments, it's either with an extension or a Hane. In this case, neither Hane really makes sense, so we're going to extend. We are not going to play a second line move. Too early for second line moves, he says, after he played Q2. But look, guys, it was a forced move. It was Sente. Okay, so black plays here. We could look at this, but that complicates things a little bit, I think. So can black cut? I think black can cut. So you want to know what? We will go and just connect our stones up, keep it nice and simple. We aren't going to get many points out of this. The goal here was not to get points. The goal was just to make sure that our opponent's potential didn't turn into a nightmare of a territory. So in that regard, this is mostly successful. I say mostly because black has gotten these 3 stones on the outside, which now makes this a little more problematic if black were to play a move like Q10 or R10. I think Q10 would have been more appropriate to try to get a little more because we can just immediately reduce this with a shoulder hit. We don't want to give black the timing to play P10. We are in the middle game. Middle game, we care about strength of groups and potential. If black gets P10, it turns this into really big potential. There aren't really any weak groups on this board, so I think going after the potential is probably the thing to do. We could look at playing K4 as a forcing move, but it's not like black's going to play K4. So you want to know what? Let's go do the shoulder hit. Just keep black reduced here, and then we will go and play a 1-point extension. We could have extended. That would have been fine as well. They're very similar moves. Worth noting, we're letting black get points here. We're not going to be able to stop black from getting all of their points. And we shouldn't try to stop them from getting all their points because we'll lose too much. We just want to make it so they don't get as many points as they could. So black is pushing. We need to run out. So now black is looking to develop this area, which is fine. That's how potential works, right? There was potential, a few moves ago. There was a lot of potential down here, right? And so then we played this, and then so now that potential shifted to over here. Okay, so now we go and play here, and that potential that shifted, that was over here, has now pretty much been cemented as actual territory here. And that's how it works. Our potential eventually turns into territory. It's just a matter of how much territory can we get that potential to turn into. And the more potential we have, the more territory we'll end up getting. Okay, so now black has played this to fully secure this territory. And there's a lot of territory. It certainly is, but we've got a lot on the top as well. And we've got this corner, which is pretty big, and we've got a little bit on the side, so I think we're in an okay position. So here, There's a lot of Aji with this corner. Black can still play something like c3. So I think I want to stop that. So I'm going to play this move. And yes, this is a second line move. It's fairly early, but it is also a fifth line move because we're developing off of this edge. And so when we look at this edge, this is a fifth line stone. So we can kind of, you know, pretend that that doesn't break the rule. But in actuality, it makes the corner really big. A little unfortunate of a response by black here, just very, very, very small. The last area of potential on this board is over here, so we're just going to play this. Though there isn't much potential here because we've got dueling third line stones. You guys have probably heard me say that quite a bit. When there are dueling third line stones, C6 and C12, nobody's really going to get much in here because we do this and black can just jump in. So black jumps in, and we can jump out. These two stones right now are actually connected. We can play here and be connected. So this stone's not going to be in any trouble. So we're just going to jump out here, see if we can bully this stone a little bit. Though there really isn't much to bully it. It's already out. It's already safe. Let's go reduce here, get a little more strength for this. And I think I just want to connect underneath. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to connect my groups up, though this group was safe enough. I just want to show this if you guys don't know it, because it's a really important tactic to know, where if you've got pretty much this exact setup, two stones on the third line that are 3 spaces apart with your stone opponent having stone in the center, this exact shape, if you attach underneath, you are connected. Because now, black plays here, we go and play this. And if black Ataris our stone, go Atari our stone. It'll make it nice for us. Thank you. Then we play this Atari. And when black plays here, we play this. Now, if we play B6, this group is locally dead. So black can't play a move like this. Black is supposed to capture. If we play this, black dies. Puts me in an awkward spot, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Okay, I'm just going to play this, force him to capture. Sure. We will go play here. And he does that. And you want to know what? We're going to capture. It's much too small. This is much too small. Please do not play this. I want to see where our friend plays. Okay? So we're going to do this. This is small. I guess it's actually not too small because it threatens to kill these 4 stones. Okay. Now what are we going to do? I was hoping this was Gote, but it's not. But we can come back to it. We're in middle game. What do we do in middle game? We care about strength of groups. We care about potential. Do we have any groups on this board that aren't strong? These 4 stones, maybe not that strong. Where is their potential? There's a little bit of potential here. A little bit here. There really isn't much potential on this board. But there is some potential here. We do have a weakish group here. So let's play some moves that will maybe go affect this potential while strengthening these 4 stones. This is probably not the move you guys would pick for that. But it's a move I'm going to play because it threatens the K3 stone, which is pretty big in its own right. Fantastic move by black, calling me out on my shenanigans. This is just a great move. And then after we play this, we can play something like this. I was hoping he was going to play like K2 or J3 so that I could get this ahead. But we play this. It obviously helps these stones a little bit. I mean, it's pretty far away, but it helps, and it helps reduce the potential. I like this move by black. I guess I missed that black did totally have a weak group here. That group wasn't too strong yet. So let's go just reduce this as much as we can. We'll go play here. This isn't going to kill anything. We're not looking to kill anything, guys. We're just looking to reduce potential. That's all we're looking to do. Tough shape here because we can play here and punch through. We can play here and punch through. But instead, you want to know what? We're going to play here. We're going to see if our friend saves this stone or not. He shouldn't, and I don't think he's going to. He did. I didn't think he was going to, though. He's been playing pretty sharp with stuff like that. Okay. So what's now? We're getting really close to endgame, aren't we? We just really are getting really close to endgame. This cut's very problematic. I just want to point that out. This group would be in a lot of trouble if we cut. So I'm going to play this. We're just going to kind of transition to an endgame. It's okay if we don't attack these stones because black's going to have to take a move to fix it. So that's eventually going to happen. Okay, so now we want to reduce this maybe a little bit. I'm actually going to do it just by attaching here. Black will Hane, which will grow the area here, but this grows the area here. So this kind of just feels like a 1-for-1 exchange, right? We're letting black get a little bit more, but we're taking a little bit more. So both players are pretty happy with this, I think. We will go block, link our stones up. That should be pretty straightforward. Does this move do anything? I don't know. I don't know if this move does anything, if I'm being perfectly honest. Because if black looks to cut, we can just block. So let's go play the other big second line move on the board, because we are pretty much at the point where second line moves are quite large. Do we want to save this stone? I mean, it's similar to this stone. I still haven't saved that one yet. But this area is a little bit bigger. So we'll go and protect that one. And yeah, we will block this as well. We've got some ugly shape here, but we are fine. We are fine. I like that. Are these stones worth saving? It's tough. It's only 6 points, right? Because they don't affect the life and death stats or anything. They don't have any meaningful follow-up, so it's only points. The issue is if black takes, then there's a cut here. So we will protect. There's a cut here that we potentially have to worry about, but this group will be able to link up with this group. So, but if black extends to block our line of sight over here, then we are going to have to play something like d7. And maybe I should have just played d7. But okay, so black plays here a little strange, we'll go and play this Atari. This also moves closer to this stone if we need to connect to it. If black saves this stone, I'm going to connect here because this cut is going to be a problem soon. Remember, we always have to assess our cuts. Right now, it's fine. Right now, it's fine because we are close enough to this stone and we can get this capture. That will be okay. But once one of those things changes, this cut becomes very real. Okay, not sure what this really does. Let's go play this Hane. Just a big move. We do need to make sure that these stones connect to something. And so this gives another option for these to run to. We can run to M12. We can run to L7. An interesting move. The problem is when we connect here, it's Sente, because if we push through, it becomes a big problem for black. Okay, so now, does this work? Does this cut the stone? This probably cuts the stone, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to play here, just make sure we strengthen the outside. Everything will be okay. This one stone, not too big of a deal. But now, obviously, if we play p6, the stone... I'm pretty sure if we played p6, the stone was dead. But now it's definitely dead if we play p6. So this links up our stones nicely, and we should be in pretty good shape here. I'm unsure what this move does. He's probably aiming at some stuff here. So let's just go play the Tiger's Mouth to prevent any shenanigans there. And now I am going to go here and capture this stone. So we're pretty much fully in endgame at this point in time. You know, we need to firm up what's going to happen in the center, but there aren't really going to be any points there. And yeah, there's really not much left on this board. I will go and block here. This is actually less of a block and more of just kind of breaking in. Do I just want to... I think it's all fine, but I'm going to just play here. Black will capture, will connect. Okay, black didn't capture, nice. Good job, Black. I like that. We'll block. This is our territory. We want to protect it at this point in time. And now Black has played this move. What does this move do? You guys remember what this move does? This move now changes the status of this cut because I no longer have line of sight to this stone. We always have to assess our cuts. So now we need to protect this cut because something has changed over here. This is something that, not that I struggled with, this is something that I'm still actively working on, because it's a really important skill, because stronger players, they're constantly assessing their cuts. And so they understand that if anything happens on this side of the board, you need to look at if that changes the status of any of your cuts. And in this case, I really think it did, because we no longer had this line of sight. So Black blocked this, and we needed to protect the cut. This is a very easy. We lose games like this all the time. I lose games like this all the time. You guys lose games like this all the time. Don't pretend you don't, because I know you do. You see this, and you don't realize that it changed the status of the cut, and they cut, and all of a sudden you lose these 8 stones, and you're like, damn it, I was winning this game. I get it, man. Goes hard. Goes a hard game. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to lose this stone. So we'll extend. We could connect, but that creates an empty triangle. Empty triangles make us sad, so we don't want to do them. Big endgame moves, guys. Where are the big endgame moves? I see 2 in particular that are quite large. First one being this Atari. This feels like double Sente, right? Because Black really doesn't want us to capture this stone. And if Black had played T18, then we wouldn't want him to capture our stone. So this is double Sente. And that's what we're looking for. I mean, the Ko is an option, but it's a strange one. So with Kos like this, take at least once. Take once, force your opponent to use a Ko threat. So Black uses a Ko threat. We go and connect. We answer the Ko threat, and now Black plays here. Now we're just going to answer. Okay, we don't need to continue this fight. Okay, and then Black connects. Awesome, that's great for us, because it wasn't really a big Ko, and so it's great that that Black fixed it and gave us Sente. I mean, great for us, not great for Black. Okay, I think it's time to save this stone. This is quite large because there is a follow-up at R1, a nice classic reduction move. Comes in Sente as well, so this move is kind of like soft Sente. So let's see what Black does, and then we might jump ahead to the end of the game because I don't think there's going to be too much more that happens. But let's go play the big endgame moves, and then we'll move on. So big endgame move 1. This move's Sente. Just 100% Sente. It's Black blocks here. We connect, and Black needs to protect this stone. So that is move 1. Move 2. What is bigger, F2 or B19? They're both pretty big. Actually, O12 is bigger. This is probably Sente because the follow-up really threatens to break into Black's territory. So do I want to deal with this Atari? Yeah, that's fine. We'll go and play this. It threatens to kill this stone. That's pretty big. So Black should probably connect. Okay. So what happens if we capture... Black was... I think I'm missing something. I'm just going to capture the stone. Seems good to me. Okay, I'll capture the stone. Hooray. If Black pushes, we're able to connect here. That's unfortunate to see. Black had 2 liberties. So why did Black do this? Black, you don't need to do this until they lose the A9 liberty. Until then, I mean, yeah, this move's eventually going to need to be played, but not right now. Not right now. So yeah, this was unfortunate. That was the equivalent of Black pushing the pass button. Okay. We'll go and do a bamboo, fix any shenanigans there, even though I think we were all set. This threatens to kill this stone. It threatens this turn here. Black should really respond to this move. It's big. This move's big. What happens if we play here? Like, if we play here, we're just... Black's losing all the points here. So we'll go and capture this stone too. So unfortunately, endgame's kind of falling apart for our friend here. But that is okay. We can go over it. So at this point, I think we're going to call this one. I'll see you guys at the end of the game, and we'll go over how our friend could have played better. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, so here we are at the end of the game. Again, it was mostly short up where we last left off. Pretty big win, that's expected. You know, our opponent made a little bit of slip ups in endgame, gave us some sente moves that we shouldn't have gotten. But either way, let's get into the review and go over where our friends could have played better. Okay, so here we are in the review, and I think our opponent did a pretty good job early in the game. I talked about this, but it's really not. It's tough to even say that this is a mistake. It's probably like a half-point mistake, if anything. Just because, again, typically if white is kicking and then black extends and we come back, black would typically play here, right? So when we do it in the opposite order, now we get to kick and black's a little over-concentrated, but it's still fine. Black's perfectly strong. So then we go and do this. Surprised that black knows this variation. It's a pretty good one. And so then we did this. But yeah, this is definitely not a shape I knew when I was an 11K player. I will tell you guys that much. So then we go and do this. And I mentioned I don't know this variation, but it is all fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with this move. It's a little aggressive. Black has a nice framework going here, so I think it might have been perhaps a little stronger to play a move like this, because in this situation, right, we're developing our potential, they're developing their potential. Their potential is so much bigger that I think it's worth them putting the move somewhere over here to grow their potential, because their potential is growing so much faster than ours. That this just seems a little early. Typically, when our games are Moyo versus Moyo, white needs to make the first move because black gets the first move. So black is naturally going to be one move ahead in building that Moyo. But this is at least a good invasion spot. Black could have looked at this as well as a reduction, but this is perfectly fine. But I would have built up the right side. So we jump out, and all this makes sense. I actually really like this response. There is some Miai, so maybe it's a little preemptive because there's some Miai between A and B, right? If black were to jump out and we were to play A, then black could play B, and if we played here, then black could take the corner. But I do like this move. It's fine. This is certainly not why black lost this game. But letting us connect underneath does feel huge. But then black comes back and plays a big move. I would have preferred for black to ask for a little bit more. I like this move in general, but especially when we're looking to build this, because basically now black is threatening a big territory here and a big territory here. And we can probably only stop one of them, because when you invade one, the other gets stronger. So that's why I mean when I say that this asks for a little bit more. This just doesn't grow the potential as much. But still a big move, still a strong move. I like it. So we jumped out. Black played here. I got distracted by cats at this point in time. You guys remember? But I did say that I wanted to talk about this move. We could have looked at this, but then there's just like this annoying double peep, right? It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. But like maybe there's some Aji here that's annoying. Who knows? Who knows? Goes hard. But with this move, we get to link up nice and clean. There really is no Aji now. So black pushes, we block, black jumps out. I like that. And then we go play here. I wanted to show some reduction, invasion stuff. We could have looked at this. I think this is probably the other big move, because once black has played this move, it's a third line move. Third line moves, they're kind of closing off the territory. So this really reduces the potential here, because it's now going to take black. If we had played here, it's now going to take black another move to really threaten the potential, because you want to bring it out to the fourth line when you're growing your potential. That's kind of the, in the middle game, that's kind of the intent of these moves. So with black having the third line stone here, I'm not too worried about this side. I want to reduce this side because there's a fourth line stone here. And this one's just too far away. So anyway, so we attach here. Black plays this reasonably. Here, we should just descend. There's no reason to give our opponent this Atari. There's just none. Just descend, and we would probably do this at this point in time, because if we play the third line move now, this is way too annoying. This is way too annoying. We're never going to get a base here. And if we're not going to get a base here, then I want the fourth line move. But since black played here and we were able to get this, now there's no second line stone to jump in with, so we can go and play this one. Black kicks, we extend. Black turns, I like this. We play here, black plays this. I like all this. Again, I would have liked to have seen a fourth line move just to ask for a little bit more, but black absolutely played in the right area. So we go and do this. This all seems perfectly reasonable. This all seems perfectly reasonable. Okay. So then we come back here, and at this point in time, now that we've played this, the base of this group is pretty much gone. Okay. Black isn't going to get any points here. This is where, I talk about caring about strength of groups and potential. This is like the perfect example of that. So my question for you guys is, how strong or weak is this group? To me, this group looks pretty strong. And if that's the case, the group is already strong here. So we don't need to play any more moves to strengthen it. And so if we don't need to strengthen this group, then we should be looking at potential on the board. Where are the points going to be? They're not here anymore. Not after white's played this. Points are gone here. So we want to look for the bigger potential moves. So maybe something like this. Or something like this. That grows the potential here. This also strengthens the group, but grows the potential. This move, that black played, this obviously strengthens the group, but it doesn't do anything for the potential. If anything, it makes the potential less, because we're playing inside what our territory would have been. But the group didn't need help from a strength standpoint. So this was a little misguided. Probably one of the bigger mistakes of the game is this one, not recognizing that the group was probably okay. And if it wasn't okay, we should look to run out either with a move like this or a move like this, or any of the jumps. This also moves in the direction to help this potential weak group. So just a little bit of a miss here. So now we get the big move. Black plays here. We play this. And I wanted to show the attachment. So we played this first to reduce, but we don't need this move. This move is not necessary for this connection. But I wanted to show this connection because it's an important one. And I mentioned, yes, it is this very specific situation where you've got this stone and this stone on the third line, and your opponent has this stone. But this comes up a lot. Like, this is a very common shape, because if you do a 3-point extension off of a third line stone, your opponent is going to play this move a lot. So this is a shape that comes up in a lot of our games. So if you guys didn't know this connection before, you connect here. There's nothing black can do. This stone might die, but our groups are connected. Typically, black would play here. We play this. Black would play here. We Atari. Black plays this. We connect. And now black needs to capture. Or needs to extend here. Something. But if black captures, now black has Mii between A and B for life. So black is alive, but we're connected. Look at that. Pretty cool, huh? We're connected, we get the outside. And black gets a little bit of a, just a living group on the inside, but, just the two eyes for points. But just wanted to show that. But unfortunately, black played here. If we had played this, black dies. I actually, if we play, maybe not right, because this is what we played, and then black plays here, because of the weakness here. But black loses this stone and kind of Incente, because if black doesn't do anything, if black just plays here, or goes, haha, I cut you, these 4 stones die because black can't connect. So just a little bit of a slip, but that's okay. I really liked this move. This was one of black's better moves this game. I actually think that black handled this part of the game fairly well. I think probably this to help the cut. This is the group that we really care about on this board right now. And if we play the stone, black can try to run here, maybe try to run here. There are options. Look at all these lines. But there are options. But tricky for sure. But with this, it just allows us to rip through. Black played here. I don't know what happens if we play here. It looks rough. Black will probably, try to do something like this to maybe look to capture these stones. I don't know. Maybe black could play here, but there's just a lot. There's a lot of Aji here. There's a lot of cuts. We left it alone. We played here, and black descended. We played here, and now we're just pretty much in end game. And from a strategic standpoint, that's really kind of all there is to go over this game. I did have the question here of, is it worth saving these 3 stones? And we've got the questions. 3 questions. Do they affect the life and death status of any groups on the board? Do they have any meaningful follow-ups? And are they simply worth enough points to save? You ask those questions in order. If the answer to all 3 of them is no, then you sacrifice the stones. The reason I saved them is, let's say we just play away and black captures. Now there's a cut here and a cut here. So there kind of is a meaningful follow-up. There's meaningful follow-up for black to get these more additional stones. So because of that, I think it was worth saving. Black could have looked to cut here immediately, but then we could look at this to connect. Because if black tries to... Oh, no, we can't. Oh, my God, we can't. I was about to say, because if black does this, we can do this and capture these 2 stones, but it's an Atari. It's an Atari. So maybe we just need to play here into this. I don't know. This looks potentially dangerous, team. Potentially. But goes hard. Goes so hard, right? Because now all of a sudden, boom, these stones are dead. So maybe we're just connected. I read all that out. I totally read all that out. I'm sure you guys did too. But anyway, so that's what I was talking about with staying connected here. I was pointing that out a lot this game, that we constantly needed to assess this cut. And my intuition said, I didn't do the reading, but my intuition, never mind, of course I did all the reading. But my intuition said that as long as we had line of sight to this stone, we were going to be okay. And then once we got to a position where black played here and we no longer had that line of sight, then we needed to connect here. And that's probably like the lesson of this game, is always assess your cuts, because this one's important. So that's where we're going to leave this one today. Lots of interesting topics to go over in this game. So I thought it was a good one. I'm glad we played it. Hopefully our friends learned a thing or two from it. Hopefully you guys learned a thing or two from it. And if you didn't, at least you had fun. And at least you got to see the cute cat, because he's adorable. He just is. Anyway, friends, that's where we're going to leave this one. As per always, thanks for coming out for another ride in Struggle Bus, where every wheel is an empty triangle. Have a good one, guys.